Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished judges, my name is Keith Collins, and I'm a lawyer. Now, as a lawyer, we catch a lot of flack, and I think one of the things that's very important is a little humility and self-deprecation. And that's where lawyer jokes come in. But in practicing law, I have found that the humorous situations that can occur are really stranger than fiction. And I'm going to share a few of them with you. I was taking a deposition in a case involving a personal injury claim. And I'm asking questions to the plaintiff about his medical treatment and his injuries and so on. And I say to him, now the physician that you were seeing every week, did they have any particular specialization or credentials? He said, oh yes, they specialized in auto accidents.
Oh no.
Now, another funny deposition was one where there was a lot of detail and covered a long window of time, and I'm taking the deposition of this lady, and she kind of gets a little bit frustrated, and she says, well, I don't have a photogenic memory. In both of those cases, I just went on as though nothing had happened and then laughed out loud later. I had one experience in practicing law where it was just incredibly difficult not to laugh, but I couldn't. I was trying an injunction case, and an injunction case is the kind of case where you don't have discovery depositions and written interrogatories and documents produced ahead of time. So it is very in the moment. In this particular case, I represented an Illinois company, and we were suing General Foods and the Sexton Company. Now, one of the witnesses that I had in this case, which was being tried before the Honorable Judge Thomas J. O'Brien, was a sister who ran the food service in one of the Catholic hospitals. Let me back up a minute, just so you get the picture. Judge Thomas J. O'Brien is a devout Catholic. If there were a bar association meeting where lawyers and judges were in attendance, Judge O'Brien usually did the invocation and prayer. So let me go back. The sister is on the stand. The counsel for the Archdiocese of Chicago is sitting in the front row. I finish my direct examination of the sister, full habit. The attorney representing General Foods from one of those big downtown Chicago law firms, he knows. He sits in his chair. The Sexton Company believed in using their primary counsel back in their home base of St. Paul, Minnesota. He stands up. I wonder what's going to happen. He goes up and he starts cross-examining the sister and trying to undercut the credibility of her fantastic testimony for my client. Judge O'Brien turns away and covers one side of his face, and you can just see the body tension. It's all he can do to not explode. The guy from the Chicago law firm at the other table, he is fidgeting. And I have turned myself away as far as I can in the other direction And it's all I can do not to laugh. Truth is stranger than fiction, and as lawyers we see a lot of it. But back to the point about self-deprecation, modesty, these are not things that you know and think of top of mind when you think about lawyers. So a lot of the humor is warranted. And I'll give you an example. There's an airplane. It's going to go down. It's a small plane. The pilot says, "I'm no hero." They're short on parachutes. He grabs one. Out he goes. Next up is the physician. Famous surgeon. Saves lives. You know, my life will save many more. He takes a parachute. Then there's the lawyer. He says, "I'm one of the most brilliant lawyers of our time, recognized by bar associations and others. It would be a great loss to justice." He grabs his straps and off he goes. Now we have one parachute short in this group of people. We have a priest and a schoolboy. And the priest looks at the schoolboy with this terrible look on his face and he says, "Son, this is a horrible dilemma. I serve God, but you have your whole life ahead of you." And the schoolboy says, "Not to worry, Father. That brilliant attorney left with my background." How much time do I have left?
8 seconds.
Yeah, 9 seconds.
No, that was it? Okay. Again, my name's Keith Collins. I tell lawyer jokes.